Hey preppers, welcome to the channel. When we prep and stockpile food, which should be one of our main priorities, of course, we want to get the best bang for our buck. As much food as we can for as inexpensive as possible, especially right now when there's lots of food on the grocery store shelves. And your first thought may come to be rice and beans. And honestly, I stockpile rice and beans. Sure, why not? Dried rice, dried beans, they store great. They have all the essential amino acids you need, but they do not have all the essential fats you need. Not to mention, you have to have a lot of heat to prepare it. So when we talk about stockpiling the most abundant food we can, best bang for our buck, canned foods. I've talked about this many times. Canned foods are where it's at. And stick with this video, don't shut it off, because I want to talk about the pros and the cons. I'll talk about some of the bad things about canned foods too, and give you all the warnings as far as what you want to look out for. Okay, so first off, the pros. The biggest first pro, obviously, is they're inexpensive. They're really cheap. I mean, compared to rice and beans, yeah, rice and beans are probably cheaper, but again, the amount of heat when crap hits the fan you put into it may not be the best. But when you compare it with other food storages, like, for example, freeze-dried foods, it's like no comparison. Not to mention, the canned food is already prepared. It's already cooked. You could have a can of Amy's organic chili. It's already ready to go. All you have to do is just heat it up, and you'll be all set. With that, you also have a huge variety. There's so many different cans. Now, people talk about, well, you know, if we look at a can of peas, for example, can of peas has water, peas, and salt. People are like, oh, the salt I can't have. You need to do research on that. And the way the medical community tells you should not have salt because of high blood pressure, it's not my job to make those decisions for you, but do your research, because salt, we have to have it. It's an electrolyte. Now, another thing too, it's sterile. When I take this can of chili again, they prepare it in here. There's no bacteria in here. There's no fungus and stuff. And that's why it lasts indefinitely. And I mean indefinitely too, by the way. You'd be amazed how many times I mention that on the channel. And people will say, oh my gosh, no, it doesn't. It does. It's actually sterile in here. It will last for 30 years. And don't take my word for it. Look at this. This is from our beloved USDA. Okay, I'm not saying they completely have our best interest in mind, but I do want to scroll down. Store your canned foods in a cool, dry place. Now, they say high acidic foods, we'll talk about this too, like tomatoes and other fruit, will keep up to 18 months, where low acid foods like meat and veggies, 2 to 5 years. But if the cans are in good condition, no dents, no swelling, no rust, and you store them in a cool, clean, dry place, you ready for this? Here it is. They are safe indefinitely. Extremely rare, Clostridium botulinum or botulism is the worst danger you may have with canned goods. So I'll say it again. I put these videos out and I always have 1 or 2 comments saying, oh, it will expire. You know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. And I'm talking about, in fact, for every one person who says it doesn't expire, I'll get comments. Somebody will say, oh, I just opened a can of whatever that was 20 years old and it was just as fresh as can be. Now, as long as the can's intact, and that's what the USDA says too. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Okay, so some warnings you want to look at as far as canned food. You do want to look at the ingredients on there. Now, here I have a can of Bush's vegetarian beans. And as far as this goes, I go through it. It's pretty much just spices and beans, a little tomato puree, and it's actually good to go. There are some cans, however, they're loaded with preservatives. Even though the can's sterile, they'll still put preservatives in there, and I stay away from that stuff. So definitely look through the ingredients, but that's not every single thing. Also, if you have a can of peaches, here we go. Yellow, clean peach slices from Aldi, good stuff. Now, like even the USDA said, over 18 months, this may actually start tasting metallic-y. But understand, even if that's the case, it's still 100% edible. The metallic-y taste is kind of nasty, but you can still eat it. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. If we're talking about crap hits the fan, you'll want to eat this. But honestly, all you have to do is take this, put a little baking soda, a little pinch of baking soda, or sometimes even a little sugar, or maybe just a dab of maple syrup and mix it through, and it'll take care of that ingredients for you, or that tingy taste for you, so it won't be so bad. Something else you want to look for too, here's some Marie Callender's Angus beef chili. And the last time I talked about this on the channel, somebody said, oh my gosh, I can't believe you buy that. That has bioengineered ingredients in it. Yeah, the new stuff does, but I've been stockpiling for a while. This is an old can. I don't know how old. I'm not going to look at the expiration, but it's still going to be good, right? It doesn't expire. This is before the bioengineered stuff. So when you look for the cans, make sure you read through it, because they're labeling that now. I'm not sure if they're labeling it on all cans, so keep that in mind. Contact the company if you need to. But finding stuff that's bioengineered obviously is really gross, but having some Angus beef chili is a good thing. Something else as far as a con goes, sometimes the cans have a BPA lining. Now, the BPA is actually made from a chain of estrogens, and we found BPA plastics in everything now. I mean, they're trying to get rid of it because it causes so many problems. What kind of evil scheme was it? Somebody decided to go ahead and use estrogen as a liner for cans or plastic bottles. And it has caused nothing but hormone problems in both males and females, not to mention insulin problems for diabetic problems. Bad stuff. A lot of the cans are getting away from BPA, and often you'll see on here it's BPA free. I don't see that on this can. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm not going to read through the whole can on this. But with that, try to find the stuff that's BPA free. Okay, now with that in mind, heating the can be a problem. I've mentioned in the past, you can actually just open it and heat with a can. And you can do that, by the way. The first thing you want to do is not expose it to really hot heat and direct flames, because the metal, even the metal alone, can actually leach some chemicals into the food. You don't want that. If you can pour this into something else, like right here, I actually have a little camping stove. This one's a Stanley, I think it is. Yeah, Stanley. You know, everybody always has that one thing they love to collect. I have so many different like little camping cans and pots and stuff. I love them for some stupid reason. But I got this one, I remember at Menards for next to nothing at the end of the season. It was a clearance. These things are amazing because put a lot of heat to it. It's not going to ruin it like your regular pan will. All you have to do is pour your can in there and heat it up, and you'll be good to go. So even the slightest heat sources can actually make these work well for you. You know, so that way you don't have to worry about cooking per se. It's really just heating. But if you do have to heat the can up, inside the can, you're out in the middle of nowhere, just do it very slowly, very slow heat over a longer period of time, and it's going to work out better for you rather than doing it really fast. So having a camping pot is something that's advantageous. So obviously lots of different cans. I always recommend having like canned chicken, canned tuna, lots of proteins. But again, the biggest thing you have to worry about is not so much the metallic taste in here, but two things. One is the pop top. As long as the pop top stays sealed, that's the key. If you're throwing the can around, you're going to be in trouble. If you put it in a cool, dark place where it's not going to get too cold or too hot, and you store the can nicely, I don't know if these will fit or not, but yeah, perfectly. Store the cans nicely on top of one another, the pop top should not really remain a problem either. But either way, I don't care if it has a pop top or if it's simply just a can laying there, you don't want any type of seals to be broken. And that's what we're talking about here is the pop top. Yes, it does pop open easier than a regular can. I'm not saying you can't have them, you just have to be more careful with it. But also along this seal here, you can feel it along the can. There's a seal right here. And along the bottom, that's where the integrity may actually come into play. And if that gets broken, bacteria may get in there, and now your can is no longer valid as far as being sterile. So when you take this can of peaches and boom, now you take the peaches and it has a big dent in it. This is a big problem. If you just have a dent in one location, it's a soft dent, it's not by the seals, you could probably get away with it. In our family, we still don't. But this one's definitely a bad one. It's actually compromising this seal. It's actually right along the pop top, even though it's not been opened. And if you do this, see a can and you drop it and pop it open, just put it in the fridge and just use it the next few days. That's your best bet. All right, but anyways, cans, amazing, can be stored indefinitely. It is really by far the best friend of preppers because there's so much variety, easy to prepare. It's already cooked. I mean, I already talked about the pros of it. They're amazing. So price-wise, go stock up in your cans now. Right now, the grocery stores are relatively full. Buy as many cans possibly as you can. And of course, watch for integrity being compromised in the cans. That's the biggest thing you have to watch out for. And of course, don't cook in the cans too. That's why I cook in stuff like this. I'll put up, you know what? I'll put a couple links for a couple different type of pots you may want to consider picking up. But you know, obviously, even if you're on your stove at home, your regular pot will work just fine. But anyways, I'm going to look at this video next, which talks about the problems and what to look for if the can is compromised, which is something you want to be able to take care of when the time comes. Thanks for watching.